All right, thanks for tuning into a special edition of Leading Forecast talking about Hurricane Irene, a very serious situation. We got a lot to talk about. This is probably going to be a longer video, but it's going to be well worth it. We got to talk about the storm. We got to talk about the potential for evacuations, websites you can go to get more information. So let's get on to the storm here. You can see this is Hurricane Irene, Category 3 Hurricane Irene right now, and it is spinning over the Bahamas right now, really hitting them hard. There's your eye right there coming over the Bahamas, and you're a very, very large storm. Still a lot of convection going on, still a lot of development going on, and could potentially develop into a Category 4 storm by the time we get out of today. Here's the satellite here. Here's the eye right here, and you can see it. There's where your arrow is pointing to it. A lot of banding still going on with this storm. You can see several bands still coming on, and bands starting to come onto the Florida coast here, and we'll show you that. Zoom in a little bit. This is down towards Miami, south of Palm Beach, and these one band has come through. Another band getting ready to move on here. That's going to bring heavy winds, heavy rain, and so that's going to be something we're going to see along the East Coast, whether it's from Miami or up to New York over the next several days as the storm moves to the north and northeast. Let's go on over going on over to the current watches and warnings. We do have those hurricane warnings in effect right now for the Bahamas, as that thing really is bearing down on them. Some incredible pictures already coming out of the Bahamas of damage. We're talking about trees, power lines, things like that have been damaged, as well as houses. We haven't probably seen the extent of it. We do have tropical storm watches in effect, basically from southern South Carolina all the way up towards the Wilmington area, and then we do have the hurricane watches. They're in effect for the east coast of North Carolina, including Cape Hatteras, which could be the big area of impact potential. Let's go on over the hurricane eye path. Let's zoom in on this a little bit. And you can see right now, here's Irene sitting down here as a Category 3. There is the potential by later on tonight, by the 8 o'clock update, we could be seeing a Category 4 storm. The potential is still there for this to become a Category 4 storm over the next several hours. So we're going to watch that very, very quickly. Here's your eye path, or very, very carefully, rather. Here's your eye path, and you can see that brings it anywhere from making landfall right along the North-South Carolina coast and brings it all the way up through the PA area, or it could actually still swing off the East Coast. I don't think that's going to be the case here. I think we've shifted this far enough west. We've seen it once to go west, and I think that's probably where it's going to go. We're talking hitting land probably anywhere between the hours of 8 a.m. and say 2 or 3 in the afternoon on Saturday, making landfall somewhere, it looks like, on the North Carolina coast. Right now, let's go on over and we can kind of get a little bit better understanding through this map of exactly where we're thinking it's going to hit, bringing the storm right up through here now. And the thing is, the eye's going to hit here, but the Cape Hatteras area is out here. If the eye hits right up through here, these winds spiraling around the eye, Cape Hatteras is going to get hit the hardest, because as those winds turn and turn up from the south and the southwest here, coming up through Cape Hatteras, that's where your strongest winds in this hurricane is going to be, on the right side of that eye wall. So Cape Hatteras, if this were to make landfall exactly where we're thinking it will, very doubtful that it will. It may be west, it may be more east. But anyways, the east coast of North Carolina looks to take the brunt of this storm as it makes landfall early this weekend. Going on over to the forecast models, you can see that this is bringing the forecast models in great agreement till it makes landfall, and then some of them bringing it more out to sea, and some of them taking it actually more over land. If this thing can go over land, the impacts are still going to be very intense across the Northeast. However, you're not going to see as great impacts as if it can stay over the ocean a little bit, potentially sustain itself better. In fact, let's go back over to the tracks. And, some of these tracks, if this comes up here and takes it just off the east coast of North Carolina, indicating that this could be a Category 2 storm once it hits somewhere up here, makes landfall again on the northeast. And if that happens, we're talking about not a good situation. We're talking about a lot of power outages, a lot of rain, a lot of storm surge that's going to be impacted by this. Here we go. This is the risk to lives and property this week for this storm. And we're going to zoom out just a little bit here so you can see this better. Right now, extreme, we do have that extreme potential here going all the way up almost to New York, right in this area here. And I probably, as we get this track a little better, notice we'll get this probably more up into here, up into the New York, Philadelphia, Massachusetts area. And then we do have the high risk going all the way up into Maine, including Delaware, New Hampshire, Massachusetts, New York, Eastern PA, really the I-95 corridor, and we have some risk levels all the way up to British Columbia. We're going to be talking about high surf, heavy rain, high winds. In fact, taking a look at coastal impacts here, you can see coastal impacts all the way up the East Coast. In fact, some of these places we're forecasting could have waves of greater than 30 feet. So there's going to be some major waves here. With the high surf, coastal flooding, beach erosion is going to be a big problem. And so, this is going to be a very high impact storm on the East Coast. We're going to be talking about power outages all the way up the East Coast, and we could be talking about power outages to, millions and millions of people here up the East Coast, from New York down towards Wilmington, even all the way up towards the Maine area. We'll probably be seeing some power outages by the end of the weekend. Going on over, there were some slides I was going to show you here. If I can pull them back up here, just give me a second. Here we go. We are starting evacuations now, I guess, across the North Carolina area. Dare County, North Carolina, mandatory evacuation. Curritude, I believe, County in North Carolina. The tourists have been ordered to evacuate today. The North Carolina ferry system is on a first-come to first-served basis right now. So if you need to get off of Cape Hatteras Island using the ferry or use the ferry across North Carolina to get to the mainland, it is on a first-come, first-served basis. Also, note here, workers are positioning heavy equipment on Cape Hatteras Island. North Carolina 12 has a problem apparently with flooding as hurricanes come in, as most roads on that area probably are going to. However, they're going to try to keep this road open as long as they can to make sure they get as many people as possible off of that island. And I think that's Ocracoke and Hyde counties. Evacuations have started. I think they started yesterday there. So right now, I don't have word of any kind of. I guess we do have a mandatory evacuation in Dare County. So, anyways, so evacuations we're talking about. As far as evacuation routes, U.S. highways 13, 17, 64, 70, 74, 76, 158, 264, and 421. In North Carolina, as well as state highways 24, 87, and 210 are all North Carolina evacuation routes. So if you are in North Carolina along the East Coast, those are the highways they're saying you should use. We'll talk a little bit more, and I'll give you some links there for more information. State evacuation links here. Here are some of those links. We'll try to zoom in, get you a little bit better picture on here of those links. We have several links here for the southern portion of the United States, and we also have some links here for the northern portions of the United States as far as evacuation links and information on emergency management. All these can actually be found on weather.com. If you get on the Weather Channel's site, they have all the evacuation links, all the evacuation information on exactly what they're planning. A lot of the northeastern portions of the United States along the East Coast already are getting together, trying to figure out what they want to do here as this storm comes through. This could be a storm for the people in the Northeast. You get those big blizzards and those big nor'easters, but some of those, especially the winds, are going to kind of pale in comparison. This is going to be potentially a once in a lifetime storm for you guys up there. So, anyways, evacuations already underway here across the North Carolina area. If you're in that area, evacuate. And if you're in the Northeast, pay very, very close attention to what your emergency management is saying. Heed the warnings because this could be a very, very significant storm. So, anyways, that's all I have. Sorry we didn't get to the live update today. We are going to try to do a live update tomorrow. I'll probably post the time on here later on tonight. I would say it'd be between the hours of 12 and 3. We'll have to wait and see how that plays out, but we're going to try and do a live update tomorrow on Hurricane Irene. So anyways, that's all we have right now. Just stay safe over the next several days, over the weekend if you're along the East Coast. Try to have a great weekend. That's all I have. Later.